Do you think your U.S. visa guarantees entry? Think again. Discover why thousands are being turned away at airports and how to avoid it. As the U.S. tightens immigration policies in 2025, travelers must navigate a more rigorous screening process at airports, where a valid visa no longer guarantees entry. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officers have the final say on whether a traveler can enter the country, and increasing emphasis on national security and immigration compliance means a greater risk of denial at the port of entry. These stricter measures aim to address concerns about visa misuse, overstays, and unauthorized activities, but they can also create anxiety and confusion for legitimate travelers. Understanding why entry may be denied and how to prepare is essential for anyone planning to visit the United States. Welcome back to Park and Post. A U.S. visa is merely permission to present yourself at a port of entry. CBP officers assess each traveler individually and may refuse entry for a variety of reasons, including, number 1. Inconsistencies in travel intent. If the information provided during the visa application differs from answers given at the airport, officers may suspect dishonesty or intent to misuse the visa. For example, stating tourism on a visa application but mentioning plans to seek employment during questioning can raise red flags. Number 2. Suspicion of overstay risks. Officers are trained to identify travelers who may not return home within the allowed period. Factors like a history of overstaying visas, unclear return plans, or financial instability may lead to denial. Number 3. Documentation issues. Travelers who cannot provide proof of accommodation, return tickets, or sufficient funds for their stay may be denied. Officers may also request letters of invitation, proof of business meetings, or other supporting evidence. Number 4. Health and security concerns. Increased use of technology allows officers to assess a traveler's background in real time. This includes health risks, criminal records, and social media activity. Even seemingly minor offenses or comments can lead to a denial. Travelers from certain countries or those applying under specific visa categories may face additional scrutiny. Officers may question whether the traveler's purpose aligns with the visa granted. One of my close acquaintances, Priya, experienced this firsthand. She had obtained a U.S. tourist visa after a rigorous application process in India. She planned to visit her cousin in New York for 2 weeks, with a detailed itinerary that included sightseeing, a Broadway show, and a family reunion. Priya was overjoyed and confident her trip would go smoothly, having carefully followed all the visa requirements. When she arrived at JFK Airport, Priya was prepared with her documents, passport, visa, return ticket, hotel reservations, and even a letter of invitation from her cousin. At the immigration counter, the officer asked her a series of routine questions. "What's the purpose of your visit?" Priya replied, "Tourism and visiting family." "How long do you plan to stay?" She answered, 2 weeks. Then, the officer asked, "Do you have a job in India?" Priya hesitated for a moment. She had recently resigned from her job to pursue a career change and hadn't mentioned this in her visa application, as she still had sufficient savings to fund her trip. She answered truthfully, "I'm currently between jobs." That one statement led to further questioning. The officer asked, "How do we know you won't overstay your visa?" Priya explained her plans to return to India and provided her return ticket, but the officer seemed unconvinced. She was escorted to a secondary inspection area. For the next 2 hours, Priya was questioned about her financial stability, her ties to India, and her cousin's immigration status. Despite presenting evidence of her return ticket, accommodation, and itinerary, the officers denied her entry, citing concerns that she might overstay her visa due to her lack of employment. Priya was devastated. Her visa was revoked, and she was placed on a flight back to India. She later learned that the denial would likely impact her ability to apply for another U.S. visa in the future. Let's learn lessons from Priya's experience. Maintain consistency in your visa application and answers. Any discrepancy between your visa application and your responses at the port of entry can raise suspicions. Be prepared to explain any changes in your circumstances since applying for the visa. Prepare strong evidence of ties to your home country. Proof of employment, property ownership, family connections, or other obligations can help convince officers of your intent to return home. Stay calm and composed. Nervousness or hesitation during questioning can be misinterpreted as dishonesty. Practice answering common immigration questions confidently. Understand the role of immigration officers. Officers are trained to err on the side of caution. Even with a valid visa, you must demonstrate that your visit complies with U.S. immigration rules. Let's explore effective ways to prepare for immigration challenges. Number 1. Carry all necessary documentation. Have proof of your travel purpose, including return tickets, hotel reservations, invitation letters, and financial statements. Number 2. Stay updated on immigration policies. Regulations can change quickly. Ensure your travel plans align with the latest U.S. immigration rules. Number 3. Be honest and transparent. Attempting to hide information or provide false details can lead to immediate denial and long-term consequences. Number 4. Consult an immigration attorney if needed. If you have any doubts or complex circumstances, seek professional advice before traveling. As immigration policies become stricter, travelers to the U.S. must approach their journeys with careful preparation and awareness. Understanding that a visa does not guarantee entry, and being equipped to address any concerns raised at the port of entry will help ensure a smoother experience. For those denied entry, consulting legal experts and preparing better for future applications can pave the way for another chance. So, let's discuss why denial can happen even with a valid visa. Possessing a valid visa for the United States is an essential first step for international travelers, but it does not guarantee entry into the country. U.S. immigration law gives Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officers the authority to make the final decision about whether a traveler is allowed to enter at the port of entry, such as an airport or land border crossing. This means that even with a properly issued visa, travelers can still be denied entry for various reasons. Understanding these reasons is crucial for avoiding unnecessary complications. Let's explore some critical reasons why you might be denied entry into the United States even with a valid visa. Stay focused, this is essential information. Number 1. A common reason for denial is a perceived mismatch between the purpose of the trip and the type of visa issued. Each visa type is tied to specific permitted activities, and immigration officers scrutinize travelers to ensure their intentions align with their visa category. For example, tourist visa, B2. If a traveler on a tourist visa mentions plans to work, attend school, or conduct business, CBP may suspect misuse of the visa. Business visa, B1. A traveler holding a business visa but exhibiting behavior that suggests leisure travel or family visits may be questioned or denied entry. CBP officers rely on travelers' responses, behavior, and supporting documentation to determine whether their stated purpose matches the visa type. Number 2. The U.S. government is highly vigilant about visa overstays, which contribute to unauthorized immigration. Immigration officers assess whether a traveler poses a risk of remaining in the U.S. beyond their visa's allowed duration. Factors that raise suspicion include lack of strong ties to home country. If a traveler cannot demonstrate strong connections to their home country, such as a stable job, family responsibilities, or property ownership, officers may suspect a risk of overstay. Previous overstay history. Any prior instances of overstaying a U.S. visa or other immigration violations significantly increase the likelihood of denial at the port of entry. Unclear travel plans. Travelers without a specific itinerary, return ticket, or proof of onward travel may be perceived as intending to remain in the U.S. unlawfully. Number 3. Even with a valid visa, travelers must present additional documentation to support their entry, depending on the purpose of their visit. Common documentation-related reasons for denial include missing or incomplete supporting documents, failure to provide proof of accommodation, financial resources, or business invitations can lead to suspicion. Discrepancies in documents. Inconsistencies between visa applications, supporting documents, and responses during questioning can raise red flags. Expired or invalid documents. Passports or other required documents must meet validity requirements, typically remaining valid for at least 6 months beyond the intended stay. Number 4. Inconsistent or suspicious responses. CBP officers often ask travelers detailed questions about their visit, and inconsistencies or unclear answers can lead to denial. Examples include contradictions between visa application and answers. If the details provided during questioning differ from the information submitted in the visa application, officers may suspect dishonesty. Ambiguous or nervous behavior. Hesitant or evasive responses, even when unintentional, can be interpreted as an attempt to mislead. Unpreparedness. Travelers who are unable to answer common immigration questions, such as where they will stay or how long they plan to stay, may face additional scrutiny. Number 5. Security and background concerns. CBP officers conduct thorough checks on all travelers entering the U.S., including criminal, security, and health-related screenings. Reasons for denial under this category include criminal records. Even minor offenses or past legal issues in the U.S. or abroad can result in denial. Health-related grounds. Communicable diseases or failure to meet vaccination requirements may bar entry, especially under evolving health policies. Security flags. Associations with flagged individuals, groups, or activities can result in immediate denial, even if unintentional. Number 6. Social media and digital activity. In recent years, U.S. immigration authorities have increasingly relied on digital footprints to verify travelers' intentions. CBP officers may review travelers' social media accounts and online activities to identify discrepancies or red flags. Examples include posts suggesting unauthorized activities, comments or posts about working in the U.S. without authorization or staying indefinitely can contradict a tourist or business visa. Association with suspicious groups. Following or engaging with accounts flagged for illegal or controversial activities can lead to further questioning or denial. Number 7. Recent policy changes or travel restrictions. Evolving immigration policies can affect travelers even after a visa is granted. Recent changes include travel bans or regional restrictions. Travelers from certain countries may face additional scrutiny or outright denial due to political or security concerns. COVID-19 or health protocols. Failure to meet vaccination, testing, or quarantine requirements can result in denial at the port of entry. Number 8. Misuse or revocation of previous visas. Past misuse of a visa, such as working on a tourist visa, can lead to revocation or denial of subsequent entry. Immigration officers review travel histories to identify patterns of misuse, such as frequent short trips that suggest unauthorized work or extended stays. Number 9. Failure to withdraw an application for admission. If a traveler is unable to convince the CBP officer of their eligibility for entry, they may be offered the option to voluntarily withdraw their application for admission. However, if the traveler refuses, it could lead to an official denial and even a ban from reapplying for entry for several years. Before we move on, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe and click the bell to be notified of our latest travel tips, and share this information with your friends and family, and don't forget to join our free newsletter and become a friend of Park and Post. By signing up, you'll receive exclusive offers and updates. Click the link below to join our newsletter and start enjoying the benefits today. But let's get back to the topic. The top reasons travelers are denied entry to the U.S. airports. So, what happens if entry is denied? Being denied entry to the United States at a port of entry, such as an airport or land border, can be a confusing and stressful experience. This situation arises when U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officers determine that a traveler is ineligible to enter the country even if they hold a valid visa. Understanding the process and its consequences can help individuals prepare for and respond to such circumstances effectively. Here's what you can expect if you are denied entry into the United States. Number 1. Immediate revocation of visa. If a traveler is denied entry, the first step often involves the revocation of their visa. This decision is typically final and cannot be contested at the port of entry. Once a visa is revoked, the traveler loses the legal right to enter the U.S. with that visa. The revocation is recorded in the U.S. immigration database, potentially affecting future visa applications or entry attempts. For example, a tourist with B2 visa may be revoked if the officer suspects the traveler intends to work in the U.S., as this would violate the terms of the visa. Number 2. Referral to secondary inspection. Travelers who are denied entry are usually sent to a secondary inspection area for further questioning and document verification. This process can take several hours. Detailed questioning. CBP officers may ask about travel plans, financial stability, ties to the home country, and prior visa or travel history. Review of documentation. Officers will closely examine supporting documents such as return tickets, proof of accommodation, and financial statements. Search for belongings. Luggage, personal items, and electronic devices like phones, laptops may be searched for evidence of intent that contradicts the visa purpose. Use of technology. Advanced systems, such as biometrics and real-time data sharing, help officers verify the traveler's identity and background. The goal of this process is to confirm whether the traveler's intentions align with their visa category and U.S. immigration law. Number 3. Issuance of Form I-275. If CBP determines the traveler cannot be admitted, they are usually issued Form I-275, Withdrawal of Application for Admission. This document outlines the reasons for denial, the traveler's voluntary agreement to withdraw their application for admission, terms for immediate departure. While this option avoids a formal deportation or removal record, it still serves as an official acknowledgement of denial and is stored in immigration records. Number 4. Detention or holding. In some cases, travelers may be detained temporarily while arrangements are made for their departure. Detention typically occurs if the traveler poses a security risk. The next available flight is several hours or days away. There is a need for further investigation into the traveler's case. CBP typically provides basic accommodations and ensures the traveler's safety during the detention period. Number 5. Return on the next available flight. After denial, the traveler is usually placed on the next available flight back to their home country or the last country of departure. Airlines are required to transport individuals denied entry at no additional cost to the traveler. Key points about this process is that the traveler remains under CBP supervision until boarding. In some cases, travelers may have to wait in the airport's holding area for several hours or even days before a suitable flight is available. Airlines may impose restrictions on future travel if the denial was due to visa misuse or suspicious activity. Number 6. Long-term consequences. Being denied entry at a port of entry can have lasting impacts on the traveler's ability to visit the U.S. in the future. Consequences may include record of denial. The incident is recorded in the CBP and Department of State databases, which may be reviewed during future visa applications or border crossings. Difficulty obtaining future visas. Applicants must disclose prior visa denials or refusals of entry on future visa applications, and these incidents may lead to increased scrutiny or outright denials. Potential bans. In cases of severe violations, such as providing false information or attempting unauthorized entry, travelers may face bans ranging from 5 to 10 years or even permanently. Number 7. Appeal or legal recourse. In most cases, denial at the port of entry cannot be appealed. However, there are limited options for addressing the situation. Consult an immigration attorney. If the denial was based on a misunderstanding or error, an immigration attorney may help the traveler seek a waiver or file a new visa application. Request a review of the decision. In rare cases, travelers can request a formal review, especially if they believe the denial was unjust or discriminatory. Apply for a new visa. If a visa was revoked, the traveler can apply for a new one after addressing the reasons for the initial denial. Strong supporting documentation will be critical. Number 8. Impact on reputation and plans. For travelers, denial of entry can disrupt both personal and professional plans. Personal impact includes missing family events, vacations, or educational opportunities can be emotionally distressing. Business travelers may face delays in critical meetings, projects, or contracts. Companies may also incur costs related to canceled trips or rescheduling. In addition to logistical challenges, the stigma of being denied entry can affect a traveler's reputation with airlines, employers, or future hosts in the U.S. Travelers can reduce the risk of denial by taking the following precautions. Prepare thoroughly. Carry all necessary documentation, including proof of accommodation, return tickets, financial support, and letters of invitation. Be honest and consistent. Ensure your visa application, travel plans, and answers to CBP officers are consistent and truthful. Demonstrate ties to your home country. Evidence of stable employment, property ownership, or family commitments can reassure officers of your intent to return. Know your rights. While travelers must comply with CBP officers' requests, they also have the right to seek legal counsel or request withdrawal of their application for admission rather than face formal deportation. Denial of entry to the U.S. is a serious matter with immediate and long-term consequences. From visa revocation and temporary detention to future travel restrictions, understanding what happens if entry is denied can help travelers navigate this difficult situation with clarity and preparedness. Proper preparation, honesty, and thorough documentation remain the best ways to avoid being turned away at the border. For those who face denial, seeking legal advice and learning from the experience are essential steps for planning future travel. That's it for today's video. Remember, preparation is the key to a smooth entry process. If you've had similar experiences or have questions, drop them in the comments below. See you in the next video.